Oh, geez. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I missed the beginning part here for you guys. Not many people were able to see it. Okay. Well, good morning, guys. I'm actually gonna start all over. Okay, let's see here how it's working. This is my... I'm still kind of getting used to it. You guys should see it now. Well, good morning. There we go. It's working now. Alright, so I literally was just live streaming for the past 10 minutes. And you guys actually didn't catch that. Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to actually start the whole live stream again. No problems at all. I don't mind. I learned that there's a little button that you have to click that says go live. So I apologize. Hi, good morning, everybody. Good night, then. How are you all doing today? Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your time. So I was a little bit late. I'm still kind of learning things about the market right now. Where's Ellie? Hi, Ellie. Do you want to say hi to the viewers? Come. Come. Okay, all right. I gotta show you guys Ellie every single time. We live stream, of course, because she was named after Elliott wave theory. Hi, Ellie. Okay. Hi. All right. This is my big baby. She's a professional day trader that specializes in Elliott wave theory. She's 7 months old. She's a really good dog. And she's really, really stupid, actually. Who am I kidding? Okay, let's go, Ellie. Get out of here. This is my channel. Okay, so good morning, everybody. I hope that you are all doing very, very well. So let's take a look at the last trade I just took with the group here. We made an incredible trade. We were all talking about ARPA this morning, okay? Everybody's taking profit. This guy loves to have fun with us in the group. Taking profit, took his profit. Taking profit, taking profit. So a lot of people caught this trade with me, taking profit, took profit, took profit. So we caught this ARPA live trade, guys. Everybody in the group is extremely happy right now. So I'm just gonna quickly talk about ARPA since we were live trading with the group, and I'm going to give you guys a really good tip and really good ideas for you to catch these next trades in the future here. So let's go over here. Okay. All right. So just I'm showing you guys again just how many people ended up taking profit in the group. Took profit, took profit, took profit, took profit, right? Took profit. So anyways, people are having a great time in the group here. So ARPA was one of the coins where every 3 o'clock in the morning, something ends up happening. Just let me give you a really clear example. Yesterday, the day before, 3 in the morning, that's the daily candle close. A rally started to happen, and ARPA did 8%. And then yesterday, 3 in the morning as well, right here. The market starts to rally huge at 3 in the morning. My best advice to you guys is for 3 in the morning, make sure that you're looking at the market if you're in North America. Because whatever time that is there, right? For me, it's in Turkey. So unfortunately, I'm not able to be up at those times. I'm up at between, 7 in the morning and 2 in the morning. I sleep about 5 hours. That 3 o'clock is too late for me. So unfortunately, I've got to step away. We've seen almost every single day something crazy happens in the market where a coin ends up rallying tremendous amounts. So let me just give you guys really good tips to tell you guys how I made $1,200 in this trade. And the only reason that I actually took profit is because I started to live stream 10 minutes by accident that I missed. So if I were not live streaming, I would still be riding this position. Unfortunately, it goes against what I believe, which is I need to monitor my positions at all times when I'm day trading. So ARPA made a first wave the previous day, 1, 2, and then it made a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth wave, breaks down. And then you get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. It's very choppy. Zooming far out, on June the 7th, we see that ARPA reached 45.21. And now that it reached that, coincidentally, it's reaching near the same high right there. My group was very panicked, but I had to calm them down. When you're trading, make sure you're extremely patient. Don't add emotions to your trade. I know it sounds really easy to do that, but when you add emotions to a trade, what ends up happening is you get very impatient, and then you start to throw some discipline out the window. Trading, in my opinion, is all about managing your discipline and emotions and being calm. If you're not calm when you're waiting for something to happen, which is a drop, what could end up happening a lot of the times is you psych yourself out and then you close your position early because you see these small volatile movements that really just screw up your psychology when trading. So make sure you're staying really calm. If you can stay calm during waiting for moves to happen during extremely volatile moments, that discipline will carry forward to when it's really needed, right? So it's not just about doing it for one situation. It's about being disciplined and doing it every single day. Like, just as an analogy, an example, like, I'm going to the gym every single day now. I moved to Turkey and gained 30 pounds, if you guys can tell. I know I gained weight, guys, okay? And I built a small gym, and I've been going every single day for 3 weeks now because it's going to improve my discipline overall, right? So you just got to stick to it at all times. We see that ARPA made an ascending triangle, and this is a very classical case of how not all ascending triangles break to the downside, okay? So as soon as it broke there, my group entered the short and we took a really nice profit. I took a 4% profit, no, a 3% profit on a $40,000 position. That's a 3% profit is $1,200. And I'm very, very happy with that. And today we'll also get into the public portfolio. So jumping into Bitcoin right now, okay? So if I had to count Bitcoin using Elliott wave theory, I would have to count it like this right now. A, B, C for an expanded flat, and then this goes to the downside just like that to make 5 waves. If I were to show you guys a measured move, okay, a measured move is where the next wave moves a very similar amount. Let this green box be representative of the move down between waves 1, okay? If I hold down control and then I just drag it over, you'll see that wave 3 did a very similar move. What's even more scary is if I take wave 3 and I drag it down to wave 5, you see that waves 3 and 5 literally made the exact same move. Whenever you see 3 measured moves like this down, 3 boxes that are similar, it usually indicates that it's a 5-wave structure and there's a possibility of retracing this entire wave. If this retraced and even did a dead cat bounce and it rallied to 24,800 or even 29,000, the market would be incredibly happy. In my opinion, long term, the volume is at the maximum already for my gain here, Robert, and I'm seeing that the input for the microphone is reaching the maximum amount here, but I can try to speak a little bit louder for you, or maybe you can turn up your volume there. I appreciate the feedback though, Robert. So if this were to rally 25,000 to 29, the market would rally huge with it. So taking a look at the weekly, or the monthly rather, still very nasty. On the weekly, even nastier. But on the daily, what we see is, or on the 4-day rather, what we see is this Dragonfly Doji. The Dragonfly Doji dropped 13-14% and we recovered. This is really good psychology. And the psychology behind it is that the bears attempted to push down 13%, but we ended up moving to the upside and recovered fully. This is a really strong candle over 4 days to have. So let me show you another thing with the daily, okay? So the daily chart right here is about to cross over. Now, when the daily chart crosses over, the second or the third one, here's one crossover going back up. Here's a second down. The third one is always more powerful. If the third one ends up moving to the upside, you can even count this one as well as a potential one. So this is 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and the 5th up, which is representative of the Elliott wave structures. If you take a look at the structures here, you're seeing that that first one was wave 1, 2, and then the next one up here, right? This crossover there. See that? Do you guys see how it's dividing? So if you take a look at here, you can see that it's doing something like that, right? like right around these regions. So I always take a look at crossovers. Now, if this were to cross over, we might get some major bullish momentum. Let me give you an example of bullish momentums when dailies cross over. Here's a crossover at Bell, okay? And we see Bell, after it crossed over, well, it ended up doing 780%. Here's ARPA. ARPA's crossover today, right? This one didn't go nearly as much. They're not always guaranteed, but there's a high chance of it doing something. ARPA ends up doing 86%. Storage's daily crossover right here, okay, ended up doing 142%. And there's so many that I can show you. Look at SNX as well, okay? SNX for the crossover ended up getting huge amounts. So we ended up getting 158%. Gigantic crossovers. I'm going to keep it really short and sweet this morning for you guys. So we take a look at Bitcoin rallying here, right? Bitcoin ended up rallying a gigantic amount, recovered 23%, and then we actually dipped to the 0.5 Fibonacci level. And then we recover 8%. 8%. Like I showed you in ARPA, right now, everything is all about trend lines. Trend lines, trend lines, trend lines. That's what I'm noticing for this particular trend this month. And if you take a look at Bitcoin, it's actually not that much different in terms of finding some sort of trend line that's just making sense, right? And it's probably making a parallel channel of some sort, conforming a little bit, right? We don't want to stretch it too much to make it fit our will, but you can see that this is pretty much looking something like that for now. On a higher picture, you can really see it, right? So the question is, are we going to get a break down below here or up above there? To me right now, Bitcoin is a no trade zone. Okay, the reason why is because it needs to take out certain lows. I'm going to put an alert like how you should. You can right click anywhere, go to add alert, make sure you change it from crossing, which is the default, change it to greater than or less than. Because for crossing, it's only going to do it once. If you are not on your computer, then you're not going to hear it. But if you go to greater than and less than, if you're away, the next minute where it's above or below your price range, it's still going to keep going. It starts notifying you every single minute, okay? Then go to greater than, then make sure you can hear your sounds. That's important, okay? So, and then set your alert. And then you can drag and drop your alert anywhere you want to. So that's what I always recommend doing. So I've got an alert now on the high side on Bitcoin's previous high. And I've also gotten a low alert for this here. It's important to always be aware of Bitcoin's price and what it's doing. Because if Bitcoin ends up moving parabolically upwards or dropping hard down, you want to be aware of that when you're day trading. No coins are immune to Bitcoin's rally. Some coins are independent and do not correlate to Bitcoin when Bitcoin is sideways, okay? Sometimes when Bitcoin's going up, a coin is dropping, but because that other coin that's dropping is in a different correction period than Bitcoin. And sometimes when Bitcoin drops, right, a coin can be rallying depending on the fundamental news. But a lot of the times when a coin is, when they're both sideways, okay, or when you're both expecting the alt and Bitcoin and the alt to do something, but it's sideways right now, if Bitcoin rallies hard, that alt is going to be carried with it. That's why you want to be notified of whatever Bitcoin's doing at all times. If Bitcoin drops and that altcoin you're looking at is sideways, that altcoin is going to follow Bitcoin to wherever it's going as well, multiplied by a big factor. So this is why it's really important to make note of what's going on with Bitcoin, okay? So right now, I don't have too much news other than an 8% rally, okay? This tiny drop in the morning of 2% caused a little bit of chaos, okay? That was pretty funny how this one candle right there at 8 in the morning caused chaos in the market. The market started dropping pretty huge. So taking a look at yesterday, really good trade that I took. I want to give you guys, actually let's wrap up Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now, my alerts are set, okay? Bitcoin alerts are set. It needs to break these particular highs. I'm going to move it a little bit lower to around 21,400 because it's taking note of many ranges, okay? It's taking note of this range here, that high, this one with some bear trapped regions, and that one. If that high gets taken out, you're going to see some really bullish momentum. So let's see if the bulls can keep hammering at this particular region for the next few days. We've retraced 50% so far roughly, and it looks like it's making its way to the upside still, but this consolidation could happen for a long time. It could happen in the form of an ascending triangle, or hey, we might even completely down drop, drop to the downside heavily. But either way, you've got your alert set. You know what could possibly happen. If 21,400 breaks to the upside, we can get a rally to 24,000, probably to this high first right here, to 23 actually. That's the next high, one high at a time. But if Bitcoin does break that, alts are going to skyrocket with it. So be aware of what Bitcoin's doing right now, and be aware of Bitcoin's possible daily MACD crossover that may come up in just a few short days. So here's a really good tip for you guys on playing breakouts, okay? Here's Bell. Here's Bell, made a gigantic rally, okay? It's all about channels, I'm telling you guys. So when this happened right there, I just started automatically drawing this. So even before the top part was hit there, I started dragging it, and I'm like, okay, well, it might hit there, but I missed it, of course. I was walking my dog at that time, and I completely missed it. But have you noticed how it hits it? Assuming parallelity, then it drops. And then it makes this trend line, trend line, trend line, trend line, trend line, trend line. That means that you got a chance. If that trend line breaks to the upside, you've got a chance to catch a huge long opportunity. And this is one of the best advice I can give you guys. If you see a smooth trend line like this, it's always going to find an EMA or a moving average where it wants to break out. So for example, on the 1 minute time frame, the EMA is too far below it. Try to find a moving average that's hovering right at the trend line. Okay, so the 2 minute moving average is still too low, right? Still too low. The 3 minute is still too low. Here was a chance to break at the 3 minute, but here it's still too low. But take a look at the 4 minute. Perfect. Here's where the drop officially happens at the 4 minute moving average. Rejects it right there as well. And here is where the trend line meets the moving average. Okay, trend line meets moving average, and there's where you could have entered a long to wait. This candle happened in 5 seconds, and I literally caught an 8-second trade yesterday for $1,500. That was probably one of the most impressive trades that I took. I was going to enter earlier, but I don't know why. My gut just told me it was time to enter this trade. So that's a really good tip in terms of playing breakouts. Playing breakouts, wait for the slope trend line to form. Once it's clearly identified, look for a moving average that coincides with that trend line. Once the trend line breaks and the moving average breaks, that's your entry signal. Set your stop loss slightly below the moving average and also below the trend line. If it falls back down, stop yourself out as soon as possible and don't wait for it. Okay, so that's really good advice. And storage yesterday, how you could have caught this massive rally, which I didn't. I actually sent to my group yesterday. Okay, let's see if I can find it here. It's pretty funny. Very funny, actually. When I said it yesterday, I can't find it in my group. Let me just see really quickly if I can. Nope, I can't find it really easily. So take a look at storage, okay? So this count is really difficult to count, but in my opinion here, this is a 1, a 2, and then the 3 here makes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 right up there somewhere. 4 comes down, 5 goes up. So that finishes the 1. I think that this is now a 2, and now we're going for a 3. I think that we're doing a 1, 2, 3, and there's probably going to be a 4 hit, and then a 5 somewhere. If we take Fibonacci extension, we see that 1-to-1 is actually not that far off, right? It could be even way higher than that. So storage yesterday, unfortunately, I did not catch it. But let me give you guys a huge hint on how you could have caught it, okay? It was right here. The 4 hour was literally just about to cross over or looking like it. I noticed that. Okay, if I were to go to a bar replay and show you guys it, you'll see what I mean. So it looked like that, and then one more bar in, it was doing that. Okay, hold on. Then there you go. Right there, that one. So at the beginning, I was noticing it cross slightly already. But on the 2-hour one is where you really could have seen it. Right here where it was starting to break to the upside. So watch that again for bar replay, okay? Watch this again. You're going to see two animations where it begins and then where it ends. So watch this, okay? You got to really pay attention here. So just check this out. The next one is going to show where it starts to cross a little bit, which is the first 2 hours, and then how it ends. So the next one, watch this. Oh, not that one. One more probably. That one right there. Okay, and then it goes up. Do you see that? So when I noticed that first cross, I said to the group, guys, it's probably going to break out, right? But I wasn't available for that particular trade. Unfortunately, I wasn't. Okay, because it was kind of late already. So then you also can see that the resistance was really clear, right? The resistance was incredibly clear where it was hammering, 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 hammering. 4-hour crossover. If you noticed it, you would have got in on this huge trade. And I regret not being in this trade, but it was kind of late for me already. It was almost 11 o'clock, right? And I'm done my day by then. And then storage makes a huge 35% gain. So that's another really good tip to give to you guys. And I think that kind of covered everything today already. So in terms of picks for today, I haven't really had much time to take a look at the market yet because I was day trading with my group. But I'll make sure I release another video in a few hours for the early afternoon to see if we can actually catch some day trading positions for you guys. But as it stands right now, I think the opportunity is already passed for ARPA, unfortunately. But there might be a shorting opportunity still. I'm just waiting to see if other lows are taking out and also if any trend lines end up forming as well. Sulian, which EMA are you using? Right now, I'm using the 50, the 200, or sorry, the 13, the 50, and the 200 moving average. I used to use the exponential moving average, but I just wanted to experiment to see if the moving averages are different, and they definitely are. They're not as reactive. The exponential moving average are weighed differently, and they're more reactive, so it's better for a day trader in my opinion. So anyways, I'm kind of done for today now. Eric, I think I'm not an economist by any means, right? I'm not going to pretend I am one, but I think that there's definitely a direct correlation with crypto inflation and how the Feds are trying to just hike up the interest rates right now. We've seen a pretty good correlation with how Bitcoin was dropping really hard when, you know, Powell there, he started to announce that 75 basis point increase rate for the interest, right? So I think there's definitely a correlation. I'm really hoping that the American economy doesn't go into a depression. It could be a very slow few months for Bitcoin. And, you know, it's all about regulation as well, right? If crypto markets start becoming regulated, especially stablecoins, like Kevin O'Leary said, he said that over $1 trillion it's going to start to pour into crypto overnight, right? So I think I'm going to just kind of keep it here for today, guys. There's not too many questions. I don't really have a comment on that, Pride M. I'm not too involved in that in any way at all, right? I'm more of a technical analyst and just specifically day trader. So I'll keep you guys filled in. Thank you very much for watching. I apologize if I'm still getting used to live streaming. It's been a really long time since I have. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. I would really appreciate it. It's just how the algorithm works, right? Trying to get more of a presence on YouTube. I used to be a really big streamer. One of the biggest crypto people, believe it or not, in 2017 when I first started. And I literally grew my account almost overnight, it seems. And I just feel like doing it again because it's fun. So make sure you guys are liking it, subscribe to me, and also hit that notification bell to make sure you know every time I'm streaming and release a video. So have yourself a great day, guys, and thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate all of your time and energy.